Hey, what's going on YouTube? Marine X back at it again. The Wuben X2 Pro. It's about to drop. It fully funded on Kickstarter. Wuben's been killing the game with funding their Kickstarters, coming out with different flashlight. And I would tell you this, let me give you the bottom line up front. If you want a flashlight that's not the most pocketable, okay, it's not going to be the most friendly in the pocket. It's going to be super versatile. You can use it as a work light, tactical light, a weapons light. This might be for you. So click the links down in the description, get the best pricing. Thank me later. But if you want to see what I do and don't like about these flashlights, stick around for some more and all of that good stuff. All right, guys, feature editor me. So I've had the Wuben X2 Pro since like late August. I filmed that video in October, and there's a few extra updates I want to give you just now that I see the product page, the final pricing, all that good stuff. Kickstarter was a good deal. It was definitely cheaper than the release price. MSRP now has this thing at 79 bucks. Looks like they're going to be releasing it for $49 for a release special. I think my discount code will work, which will get this thing near $40. I'm not sure. Just give it a go. Use the links down below. That's number one. Secondly, it looks like you're going to be able to get some accessories with this. So here I have the actual diffuser that comes with the X2. This does not come with the X2 Pro. At least I don't know if it comes with the X2 Pro. This is a little red diffuser that you can get that with the X2. Is it going to come with the X2 Pro? I don't know. They just kind of sent me these in a box wrapped in plastic. No, I don't know what the charging cable is going to look like. You can also get a bike rack accessory, which I think looks extremely dope. I doubt they give that to you. You probably got to pay for that. But I will say Wuben's accessories are very inexpensive. But the bike rack accessory looks like you're going to be able to slide these rails right directly onto that bike rack and use this as your light for your bike. That's good. That's fantastic. And also it's going to have some type of rear tail switch for like a tactical mode. And then finally, these things do have the 14500 batteries. They have several emitters. I didn't get a chance to test the IP rating. This is 128 ounces of water. So while you're watching the rest of this video, I'm just going to leave this. There you go. There we go. I'm going to leave this in the bottom of the screen, somewhere on the screen. And this should be IP68 rating, which should be water and dust resistant, not proof, but water and dust resistant, I believe is how that works, for up to 30 minutes, 3 meters. There's nowhere near 3 meters. This video is not going to take 30 minutes. If this thing turns off, it would be because the battery died. I don't know what the battery was. That's an issue. Is also you don't know the battery percentage when you're using these things. I'm glad they're hot swappable. I don't know what battery was left. If it dies while I'm editing this video, because I'm in the middle of editing it, I'll come over here and I'll see if it was the battery or if it was the water. But just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, back to the video. The X2 was a great flashlight. There were some things about it I was not a big fan of. The pocket clip was incredibly aggressive. It was very hard to use. And the base was not magnetic. The battery's not removable. And, you know, kind of left a lot to be desired. But the flashlight itself was super dope. I have several of these, and I'm a big fan of the Wuben X2. The X2 Pro just kind of takes it to the next step. First off, Wuben has completely done a redesign when it comes to the X2 lineup. You can get it in multiple colors. I have it in white. I have it in black. You can get an RGB mode. You can have a UV mode. Both of the ones that I have here are the RGB elements. So the X2 Pro does have a front lens element. They call it a composite lens system, and you can go from 15 lumens to 1500 lumens, multiple modes from low mode to turbo mode. And it has a locking system on the very side right here. So whenever you engage that locking system, that lets you go from locked to side light to front lens element very, very easily. So you don't have to worry about this thing being turned on in your pocket or whatever. The same rotating button on the side is how you turn the light on no matter what you're doing. So when you push that and you can bring the light up, you can bring the light down. So that's a very intuitive design there. And when you have that light on, you can also double tap it to make it go to the turbo mode, and it goes to the low lumen mode. You hold it down to cycle through the different modes from low to medium to high, etc., etc. And so I like the fact that they just kind of made it very easy to use. When you go to that middle mode here, you click this, and now you're in the RGB mode. The RGB mode, you click once, that brings you get the blue, the red, green, blue, and then like mixtures of red, green, and blue by just simply rotating the nozzle right here. And then if you want to just hold it down, that's going to bring you over to the white light. Now the white light can go down 1 lumen, which is fantastic. I think up to 400 lumens. Same type of system. You rotate it to get the light to go up and down as you see fit. And it gives you it kind of lets you know when you've reached whatever mode that you're at by kind of just like making the light blink a little bit. So I like the fact that they kind of made this tilt, not quite at it's nowhere near 90 degrees. This is 90 degrees facing when you have a magnetic surface, but you can tilt it an additional almost 45 degrees. You can tilt it up as well by just pushing on the light, which lets you, so if you need to get it, angle it to a certain area or whatever, you can do that pretty easily. So I like that. Now I have pre-production models. So some of the complaints I have, I think they're going to be fixed in the production models. Like my white version here, you can almost see the spring. It's kind of hard to see on this camera, but you can almost see the spring on that white one, where the black one you can't. So I understand. They sent a few of the pre-production models out to a few YouTubers. I know I got some, like Accessorize Me got some. So we are looking at some stuff that's not in full production. So I'm giving them a little bit of grace on that. And here, one thing I like as well is that if you want to, you can swap these batteries out. They come with the 14500 batteries, which is the same exact size as AA's. If your batteries are running low, you haven't had a chance to charge them, you can pop them out, throw some AA's in there. And the thing about these is that these actually lock with this side switch there. And so that way you don't have to worry about it springing open on you. They're going to have additional accessories that they're going to sell. I don't want to just be like a big walking advertisement, because I don't own any of the other stuff that's supposed to come with it. They didn't even give me a charger to charge these up with. So I don't know if you're going to get the USB neck charger, but it looks like at the very bottom, it's going to have some type of actuator, which I've had Wuben lights before, which allows you to connect the cord and put this light on like a weapon and be able to turn this light on with an actuator switch. I'm assuming that's what those little pins are for on the bottom. I like the fact that this is now magnetic. These are very lightweight. The pocket clip is nowhere near as aggressive as the original X2. So you can put it in your pocket, but because of the width, I just was not comfortable with this in my pocket, because normally in my left pocket, that's kind of normally where I would keep a flashlight, and I might put my car keys in that same pocket. So like if I have these keys next to this in that pocket, this is just very bulky. So this just didn't work well for me in my pocket, but it works great if you're going to keep it in like the center console of your vehicle, keep it in a pouch, whatever. Or maybe you will put it in your pocket. You know, everybody's a little bit different. So I kind of gave you my bottom line up front about the flashlights themselves. I think that they've done a very good thing with remodeling the X2. They had a very good hit with the X2, but there was a lot of things about it that needed improvement. And they've done a lot of that here. Is it 100% perfect? Nah, probably not. I would like to see the actual lock switch be a little bit more accessible with your thumb. It's kind of easy sometimes to hit the lock switch and also hit the rotating nozzle as well. One thing I also like about it is even when you lock this thing out, right? So when you lock it out, it turns the flashlight off, automatically. When you go back into your previous mode, it remembers exactly whatever the last mode you had it on. So I had this on the blue light last. I turned it back to this mode. It brings it back to the blue light. Same thing. If I turn this off with the red light, I'll go back to here and I turn it back on. It remembers that you had it in the red light. It does the same thing for the composite switch. One thing I would like to see is if I have this in the on position in the RGB mode, I would like it if I switch to the front for this front lens element to just be on. Very first world problem, but it is what it is, because when you do switch it back over, you have to click the button again and turn it back on. It's not that big of a deal, but it would be nice to have. Me personally, I don't use RGB very often unless I'm rucking at night. When I am rucking, this was on the front of my plate carrier facing forward. So if I want to turn on the RGB mode, I can just simply keep it in the RGB mode itself, maybe put it on the green light and leave it there. And then if I want to, I can just kind of turn it off and turn it back on, and it would just shine right in front of me. But this is only 10 lumens. So if you're in a very dark environment, it's going to work just fine, but it's not going to be very bright in some scenarios. But there may be some times where you want the RGB mode, especially if you don't want to mess up your night vision and stuff like that. So it can be very useful. I would like to check out the UV version of these as well. just to see what the different versatilities are. But Wuben has another hit here. I like the fact that they keep innovating. They keep staying very competitive with the likes of, I kind of say, Nightcore and Olight and Wuben are kind of like all fighting for innovation when it comes to flashlights for everyday carry. Then they have like the kind of top of the line, where I say that a lot of flashlights that are in service members' pockets, like Surefire, Phoenix, Streamlight, those guys are up there making stuff happen. And then stuff like specialty type of flashlights like Princeton and all those type of folks, they're making flashlights for like scuba divers and stuff. I like the fact that they stay focused on everyday carry folks and giving us something a little bit different and entice people to carry a flashlight. I think these would be great for a holiday gift. But that's all going to depend on the final price. I don't know what the final price is going to be. I'm going to link down below the best pricing for you to check these things out. Let me know what you think of the Wuben X2 Pro. Is this something that you would get? Is it a smash? Is it a pass? Put S for smash in the comments. Put P for pass in the comments as well. If this is your first time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you a part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.